Leave Bud alone. Leave Bud Crawford alone. Leave Bud Crawford alone. Leave him alone. First of all, you want him to be the role model for you. But when he was coming up, when he was on the come up, so many of you blacks were against him. You called him all kinds of names. You called him all kinds of names that the white supremacists call black people. You were the ones giving him all kinds of names. Have you forgotten already? Well, one thing about the public is they love to have amnesia. You love to have amnesia when something wasn't even just a few moments ago. It wasn't long ago. We're not talking like 100 years ago. Just a couple of seasons ago. All the names you fellas, and we have the receipts because it was online in the comment sections, and some publicly speaking. You were dissing Bud, all kinds of disses. You're calling him all kinds of names. A black man. Why? For what? You know, black people doing this. Many of you black Americans doing this, African Americans doing this. Many of you. You know, with undertones, the type of abuses that the white supremacists would do, would use. Racial epithets against your own black man, calling him all kinds of names. A handsome dude. But you'd call him names as though he was bad looking, because of what? Top athlete. Just because he wasn't representing all the negative stereotypes that are embedded within the community, the unfortunate stereotypes. Because he wasn't representing that. He was living a decent life, a clean life, you know. He wasn't being outlandish in his ways. He wasn't being an absolute rude boy, getting it down, doing everything dirty. Because he wasn't doing that, you were trying to stain him. For what reason? What was the purpose? But now, all of a sudden, and you many of you, if it was just some, I would say some. But it was such a significant portion that were doing this at the time. Don't forget, you guys, don't try and act like that wasn't happening. Don't even bother. You know, I love America and I love, obviously, love the African Americans. As an African man myself, as a Nigerian myself, as a Brit, black man myself, of course, we love. But there's some things you have really, really messy about you folk. Really messy. Yeah. And you need to cut it out. You cut it out. Something's messy about every folk. But we're talking about this today. We're talking about this today. Okay? Especially as you actually have an accusation out against, a public accusation and outrage against Terrence Crawford. Why have you ignored this fact that you abused him for so many years and he sat quietly? This is one thing about you fellas. I see you doing it with Clarissa Shields now. Queen of female boxing. 2-time gold medal winner in 2 separate Olympiads. Multiple weight world champion. Queen of female boxing. Undefeated. Super stilo in the ring. She gets it popping. Puts you black ladies on a map. In a special way, in a unique way. And in what was a niche. What was a niche sport. Female boxing. And just because of some little, I think I prefer this one or that one. You know, you just decide to stigmatize, bully online, day and night. It's been over a year straight. Day and night, multiple platforms, all on one individual, Clarissa. You expect her to shoulder all of that one person. Anyway she reads, you got something to say. Like you're such saint, like you're so saintly. Anywhere she goes, she got to read that. Come on. And the person you don't get it twisted. The person that you're dissing her about, it's not a saint like that. at all. In fact, she looked after that person. She looked after that person. She put her on an undercard. I was there at the fight in women's boxing. Savannah Marshall v. Clarissa Shields. I was there in the building. One of the historical fights of women's boxing. Savannah Marshall, Olympic gold medalist, versus Clarissa Shields, 2-time Olympic gold medalist and world champion. And she had Alicia Baumgardner on the undercard. She was looking after her and exposing her to a global audience. You know, lifting up her name and everything. Giving her that opportunity, a grand opportunity. I was there live in the building. But she turned on Clarissa. And all you guys, she turned on Clarissa. Dissing her, cussing her, wanting what she had. And all you guys decide that she's the saint and Clarissa's the villain. And you did a public lynching. This is what you do. Public lynching. Sometimes it's a psychosis. It's a symptom of what you've experienced yourself. It happens. It's a thing in psychology where one is bullied and they automatically internalize it and think they need to bully others. This is the way it goes in your head. You think because it happens to you, because it's been set upon you as a sense of a rule, that this is the rule of engagement. This is how you behave. I oppress you, I suppress you, and this is how it's supposed to be done. Because the slave masters did that. And now you believe that's the way to go. You don't have to do that to your own brothers. You do not have to do that to your own brothers. You don't do this to your own brethren. You don't. You have to make exceptions to the rule. So this is not how it goes. And Bud Crawford, if his career went down and he got nothing, and he earned nothing, and he lost one of those fights earlier, all of you would have just continued dissing. You'd have loved it, thrived on it. I know you. You'd have thrived on it. I go to America all the time. See, I've been going to America since I was 6 years old. So, and I've got family from there. So, don't think I don't know America. Since I was 6 years old, I've been going to America. So, obviously that means we love America. We want you to do better. We want you to do better. We want you to improve. Don't do this, black folk. So now Bud is supposed to be the villain now, but you would have thrived on it. Many of you cussed him and dissed him and called him all kinds of names. And if he had lost those fights, you would have loved it. Even when he won, you tried to make excuses. But those excuses were just nonsensical. Didn't make any sense. Make excuses for his opponent. So, you would have absolutely thrived. And he would have just been in the gutter someplace, all by himself. With the only thing to read was your disses. Maybe he'd have no money and he'd be in some bush somewhere with nothing. But he stayed the course. He's a strong man because he was brought up strong. And I don't mean strong just physically. I'm talking mentally, fortitude, emotionally, plan, wisdom. He set plans and he saw them through. Outlandish plans, great plans. He saw them through. Let's go take a big fish. You saw that clip where he pulled up on Spence, and I love Spence too. And they went at it. Spence didn't respond properly for 5 years straight. Bud could have lost it all in that period. And he was busy taking other top contenders in that time. Don't forget, he was really a 140 guy. And they called him, even Spence called him light in the ass. You're too light in the ass. Remember that one? Oh, you forgot. Don't let your amnesia kick in. Come on. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Take a deep breath. Oxygen. Don't lose your brains now. Oxygen again. Oh man, you fellas, don't do this. Don't do this to your own brethren. Don't do this. Don't do this. I'm an extreme martial artist. I'm a combat master. So I know what it takes when a fighter's training, working his ass off. Bud was doing that. Doing that. Consistent, daily. Doing it all the time. And the risk, I know. What if I lose everything? While these fellas are dissing like this. But he kept going. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang, bang. But it's something else, man. 11 KOs straight. Stoppages. With people who shouldn't even be stopping. Because he's a 140 guy. Remember I just said? Light in the ass, they said. Right? Came to 140. Took out the big fish. Errol Spence. Before that, took out Avanesian. And you fellas didn't know Avanesian like that. Because you're in North America. In Europe, Avanesian was a bad boy. He took out Josh Taylor. Josh Kelly was one of the prospects that was very talented. That people were expecting so much of him. Like, oh, he had this, real talent, skill. And he used to have so many back and forth with Conor Benn. We thought he was Conor Benn he was going to fight. But then they didn't fight. Eventually, Josh Kelly went to fight David Avanesian. And Avanesian stopped him, knocked him out brutally. Then Avanesian went to fight the European champion, blew him out. Avanesian blew him out. Then Bud Crawford picked Avanesian as a warm-up for Spence. Let me fight this guy in between so I don't get rusty. But I was concerned. I was thinking, man, Bud, I hope you know that this guy is not just some warm-up dude. This is a real banana skin. And he's got power. He blows people out. And look, in fact, Josh Kelly was putting all that talent on him. So even later on in the fight, even at the later rounds, man, Josh Kelly was putting all that talent on him. And Avanesian blew him out, knocked him out in the middle of that. So I was thinking, man, I hope Bud knows. I even posted to Bud one time in the middle of that Spence fiasco. I told him, look, if you want me on the undercard, I will come. I'll take a boxing undercard. I'm an extreme martial artist. I'll fight in a boxing undercard if you want. That time he was trying to fight. He was trying to get what was the name of that network? It was a different network. They had a deal. The name will come to me later. It was a different network to broadcast a boxing show. And I believe they did one fight with that network. The name's gone. It was a different network. So eventually they got the Spence fight. Then he took him out. Then he went and did Canelo. This is a man making it on his own terms. Then he shed all the scales that all the fellas were putting on him. Shed all the scales. And made his name. Became one of the faces of boxing. Boxing doesn't have many faces. People who are known outside of boxing. There's Canelo, there's Anthony Joshua, there's Tyson Fury, and Bud Crawford just came forth. Boom! You couldn't, anywhere you looked, online or anywhere, his name is there. Google had him up at one point as the most searched, not fighter, individual in the entire world. In Google. Can you believe that? How's anyone going to say that's not a face of boxing, or even the face? He was getting it popping, man. He had it going on his own terms. He got that 100. He got that whatever amount of meals, heavy loaded meals. After that, also he already got it from Spencer, got it from Canelo, and now he's moving his status up. Then now you want to tell him to go and sit his ass down and stop the train now. A man in his prime. He didn't go to the White House. He was invited to the White House. He didn't just, don't say, Bud Crawford went to the White House. No, Bud Crawford was invited to the White House by the President of the United States of America. You fellas need to separate your emotions from strategy. Understand. You need a sense of diplomacy. Know what it means to be diplomatic. You know, when you say this person is a diplomat, ambassador of this country or that country, it's a different realm of mentality you need to install and inculcate into your thinking and reasoning. Everything isn't just, I got the spear. That's some of it. There's a time for that. Whoa, boom, sky, take your enemies down. Countries that thought like that didn't survive. The ones that knew how to use the weapon and the diplomatic mind became the greatest nations on earth. You have to mix certain things. It's not only the spear and the sword. Now, our people have to learn this. Our people, black people, have to learn this. You have to learn this. I understand and appreciate that as a people, especially in America, we're talking about the blacks in America, the African American. Not every societal lesson has been installed yet. Because, of course, even America itself is young. But America as a country, as a country in itself, as an institution itself, a governmental sovereign institution, has plenty of lessons from the European community that it came from, that it sprung out from. So America was born out of England. They came out of England, and some European, predominantly, and some European arms, European countries, nations came into that coalition and grew what you now know as America. So it's even a young country in itself. Don't even talk about even the black people. Just America in itself is a young country compared to the rest of the world. But now, we now talk about the introduction of the blacks into America. That's an even younger situation. So you should be forgiven for not knowing everything, right? That the other countries have amassed in terms of knowledge of how to be and how to handle yourselves as a nation and as a people. But when we're now talking about how you handle your own people, a lot of that should be instinctive. Much of it shouldn't even necessarily be taught. It's like a mother or a father developing their own child. Much of it is instinctive. Yes, much is taught, but much is also instinctive. So some things should not be expected of you. You shouldn't be trying to kill your own. You shouldn't be trying to destroy your own. You should understand there's strength in your own. Especially when you have people who are champions of you. People who have come up amongst you and are now your champions. You want to crucify them already. And like I said, it's a lynching attitude. The lynch mob that came upon you, you're trying to now bring upon your own fellas. And you have to get rid of that. Because now they don't have to lynch you. You're the one lynching your own selves. Isn't George Floyd enough? You heard the terminology, assassination of character. This one is assassination of your own heroes. That's even worse. But you don't see it. Most of you don't see it. This homicidal attitude you have is not only with bullets. It's happening with your mouth, with your words, and with much of your action. Now back to the other strategies of how to handle these type of matters. Should one of your own not be at the table? Should you not even be at the table? Not even about he himself. It should be about himself first. Especially if this is how you people treating him. He should go and get his own. And now this is the highest call. So let's first deal with that part. We're talking about even as an individual. Much of the conversation in America has been about economic empowerment, business growth and development as individuals and as a community. This is the pinnacle of it. an invitation to the White House by the President of the United States of America. So what do you think, especially after hearing the backstory, what do you think the impact of that is economically, commercially, in terms of enterprise, pull, and magnetic power, financially speaking? Would that be that someone is now standing, even just to stand next to the President of the United States of America, in any form, in any capacity, whether you were interviewing him or you were just standing on the street and took a pic, let alone you were invited officially to be amongst his guests? If yesterday, Nike, Reebok, Everlast, whoever, number one, had a price or a fee to pay him for an endorsement or for advertisement or sponsorship, don't you think his price has gone up now? The price has gone up automatically. It's an inevitable economic consequence. Just that alone. Because the value has gone up. It's called value added. In economics, it's value added. You now bring much more to the table in any negotiation, in any practice. So now, you coming up, there's the evidence that your value is up. The President of the United States, any negotiation tool that you would have put at the table to justify your price hike before, you now have another one that's even way more. And it's evident. It's not a suggestion or an opinion. It's evident. Because you now have not only a presence with the President, you have a contact with the President of America, of the greatest nation on earth. Not only great in terms of military, because Russia's great also, or almost just as great militarily, China. But we're talking in terms of economics and business. This is a specific conversation pool in this aspect of the breakdown. Because America sells the most. Every product they can buy the most, they have the buying capacity, and they have productivity capacity, they have commercial capacity, they have international capacity, they have military capacity. So in every sense of the word, the price tag becomes much more. And now the President of the United States is the number one president in terms of all of those metrics. So what are you people saying? You're saying he should have turned that down. He should have said no. Just because we're not saying, we know what the president's policies have been in relation to the black community. There have been some very positive things, definitely, which are evident in terms of economic empowerment with the black community. But there also have definitely been some negative, and not just negative, very negative ones. I was very surprised about that too. That President Trump went that way, but we understand why. See, in the mixture of all this commotion, he's got Elon Musk in his ears. Don't forget where Elon Musk is from, South Africa. We're talking white supremacist South Africa. I'm not talking against whites per se. I'm talking against white supremacy. It's a whole ideology. It's a whole wicked, evil way in the world. We know that already. It's not a new story. It's an old story. Nelson Mandela will tell you all about that. Just as much as you blacks in America would tell, or blacks anywhere would tell about that. When England, slavery came this way too. Many of the big banks over here, Lloyd's Bank, and many of the merchant banks got their money from white supremacy, from slavery. And the economy is thriving from that, directly, not maybe. over 60% of America's wealth by 1860 was from slavery. We understand that. We know that. Railroads were built by the black slaves, physically, hand on. Don't think they were it's excluding the children from it. Don't think slave labor had an age range. Once you can pick it up, you're on it. It's a fact. We're still using those infrastructures right now in America. You know, cotton. We understand many of the things. The wall in New York, from the Wall Street, you know, in Wall Street, by which they named Wall Street, was built by black slaves. The White House itself was built by black slaves. There were many things, many industries and commodities that were black built. Cities, New York, great cities, Atlanta, built by black slaves. We understand that. We know those histories, and the facts is a fact. And even many of the great insurance companies and many of the banks and the northern banks in the north of America, and the money was coming from collateral from the slave industry and the slave themselves as actual labor participants and commodities with price tags on them. So we understand this. Okay? Not only that, they killed them despite their price. They just couldn't help themselves. Still kill them. We know your work is, but you're going to die tonight. You're going to die tonight, nigga. That's how it is. We understand that. But don't now take that lynching and internalize it. There's something in psychology and sociology called internalized racism. Internalized racism. You turn it in. Then you hate yourself and some of your own and treat them the same way you've seen your oppressors treat you. It's a lynching. It's a crucifixion. You don't do that. Now, you now expect Terrence Crawford in his prime, in his super prime, physically and mentally and emotionally, and his family just getting there. You see his children, he's got this one in wrestling, he's got many children, by the way. He's growing, thriving. Now he gets the highest honor in the country. And you are saying he should turn it down. That's your wisdom. Turn it down. Don't go to the president. I mean, the president is so bad, he lynched you, he killed you himself. It's way more complicated than that. If Donald Trump was that type of racist, do you think he'd have been with Mike Tyson all those days back in the day, taking care of him? You think you'd have seen him all with Oprah and all these fellas, put his face on them? He was a New Yorker through and through. He's your typical New York dude. That's not how he is. That's not Donald Trump like that. But it's not to say he's not susceptible to looking at black folk in a certain way something too, because everybody can look at certain things certain ways. Sometimes even my own, growing up, even your own dad could look at some of your sons in certain ways, and he's wrong, not because it's just that he thinks, no, this brother is crazy, or he needs discipline like this and that, or he's looking at it in a particular very skewed way, maybe, and he's right in the general sense, but he might be missing certain ways. Your dad might be missing certain ways of looking at things, and your mom would be like, no, not like that, So it's more that, And he's bought into some of those things, Elon Musk has been in his ears. And how did someone like Musk get in his ears? Because Musk is obviously very bright dude, exceptionally bright. Bright doesn't mean wise in a positive sense, but definitely, super intelligence and doing things that NASA couldn't do for decades. This guy did in moments. Financial acumen, all kinds, tech acumen. One can easily be blinded and think that means the person, all his internal calculations are right. But his calculative orbit might be wrong when it comes to moral thinking. And it is. In many aspects. It doesn't mean in every aspect, but in many crucial aspects it is. And Trump, knowing his position, is playing a lot of chess. And he's winning. Don't get it twisted. Trump is winning in his chess. A lot. When you're playing chess or sports or anything, you see with football teams or basketball, you could be a tops. It doesn't mean you win every single game. So I'm not saying Trump is winning in every single chess move. Yeah. But he's definitely tops. He's up there in his moves and his thinking. But some things he's got wrong. Like, but I can see, we could obviously see why he would want to pull someone like Musk next to him and not let him go to the Russians or to the other crazy guys. Don't forget, you think Musk is American? No, he's not. He's free to go anywhere he wants. Even if he were, just that money alone means he's free, all right? Let alone the fact that he's not actually American like that. He can go anywhere. And I predicted it, and the day I said it, because that Russia-Ukraine thing was happening, his pops went over there to Ukraine. And I just thought, first to Russia, to Moscow. I thought, what the heck is he doing? Where is he going? But I'd already told my woman, I said, I bet you any money he's going to. But I was thinking it would be Musk. I was saying Musk would go. But I didn't know it was his dad. His dad went, which you might as well say that's the same thing. So I was right. I was right there too. His dad went. Then I thought, you're actually in Moscow? But then, are you afraid? But no. Number one, I'm not American. He's not American. Number two, why would you want to kill a Musk? You need them, right? Especially after all the things Elon said to Russia. Remember what he was saying to Putin? Before that. But Trump was, no, Trump's not stupid. Why would I want this guy? You know, it's like exam writes and exams. Scores tops. You can't argue with that. He might be a bad dude, but you can't argue with his numbers here. Yeah. And we're at the precipice of, hopefully not World War III and all those crazy things, but some kind of Armageddon. You see crazy things happening in our world today, socially. See what the doctors are twisting things, and you saw with all the COVID stuff and all that. Then all the Ukraine war and the very near miss World War III. Biden was doing, almost telling them to throw weapons into Ukraine, into Russia, into Moscow. Biden and Kamala. So it's a dicey moment for someone like Trump. So he was like, ooh, keep Musk here. But that Musk is now whispering all kind of racist stuff in his ears too. Because he has a social mind in terms of social engineering as well. So I'm not saying Trump is all confused, like he's not stupid like that, but some things do slip in. And this is no excusing him either. But don't try to say I'm excusing the things stuff. Take a great note of the lapses, with the black community, especially, bringing in, canceling visas for Africans, and then but letting black Africans, but letting the white ones in, and all that stuff. That's Musk. It doesn't absolve Trump, but that's Musk. And anyway, at the end of the day, he's doing what he's doing. He still calls Bud over there. So how racist is he? What are you trying to say here? He wants Bud to come up here. Dana White said just the other day, he whispered in his ears and said, where's Derek Brunson? That's a black dude. Why is he fighting? Why isn't he on the card? And Dana White had to call Brunson and bring him on. President Trump wants you there. So racism, we get it. Yeah? Doesn't mean you're not racist. But it doesn't mean you are in the way that when we say racism. But then again, because of the consequences, he might think he's doing you guys all right. I ain't killing him. I ain't doing it. I'm sorting things out. I'm balancing things out. Especially when you realize, imagine you're trying to become the president and you might not. But then you realize that all the racists love you. Not because of racism, because he didn't do anything racist. Trump definitely did not do anything racist before that. Right? It's just that many of his policies rang well with those fellas too. Like, we don't want no trannies here and there. We don't want no this, that. Men in the toilets with women. We don't want this. That resonated with many people, including some racists. So the good people like that. Some bad people also like it. But then you realize that, oh shoot, these bad people want to chant all the racist stuff in my rallies. But if I stop them now, they ain't going to vote for me. It's a crazy conundrum. Just think about it now for a minute without your emotion. Understand it. You're going to now lose the presidency of the United States of America. What do I do? I'm not going to outright tell them to be racist, but he's treading on all kind of thin ices. It's a real juggling act. It's a mental. That's a mental. You know, you say someone mental F, like you're effing with someone's mind. So, but now these people saying, "Oh, be anti woke, be all that stuff, man." It's a real soup. He needs someone to talk to him to really break it down. Trump himself needs someone to break it down to him so he can see what he's doing. He needs someone to really talk to him about that. You know, heart to heart. He's not racist like that. But it's easy, like how even my dad used to be, or is. You, you know, you, you keep to certain thoughts or ways of thinking sometimes. You know, like, oh, these riffraff behaving people. And your dad or your teacher might be black too. Oh, these are riffraffs. This. What you're talking about is the behavior patterns of the bad ones, whether they're black or not. But then on top of it, he's white saying it or thinking it. I mean, I'm not saying he said it, but those type of behaviors, right? Someone might think, oh, why don't we do this or why don't we do it? To keep them disciplined, or why don't we? Doesn't mean they're racist like that. They might be seeing something endemic in your subcultures. Even though it was their institutions who caused it to start with. Not Trump himself, but the white supremacy institutions initially. But he might not have the mental acuity to go that far back and rewind and do all the algebra. Mentally speaking. Right? But now bringing it back to Bud. Bud, he is entitled to be there. Even if it's just for his own self. But now as far as the community, should a black hero or leader not be at the table? He's at the table. Like I said, he was invited. He didn't just go there. He was invited. So don't say Trump then invited black. You want to have it both ways. Trump invited a black man. How about that one? Trump invited a black man. It's a weird accusation to make it, actually. Because you're saying the man is so racist, you shouldn't stand with him. But the same man invited him to come there. Invited a black man to come there. And smiled heartily with the black man. You see the excitement in Trump's face. He looked like he had a good sleep that night. Like fresh looking. Really? Huh? So even if Trump was racist, let's just make it that he was racist. Should the black man not be at the table? This is not any table. I don't care how much you don't like the president of the United States, but he's still the president of the United States or president of any country. It's a high historical table. You'd be an idiot to not go there. You think Trump doesn't talk to Putin, to Vladimir Putin? This is what I'm saying. Our people need to learn these other skills. Diplomacy. Weapons of fighting is good. That's one. Diplomacy. Business interaction. Economic empowerment. You talk about it, but you don't want to do it. Someone needs to be at the table. You think the first time Bud goes there means that's the last time? That's a relationship that has been built now. Because now he's there, he can now... Trump say, oh, he was a pleasant guy. He was affable. Nothing happened. Nothing wrong. Let's call him again. Another day. And another day. And another day. Then before you know it, no one's asking every sports person to be such a mouth. Because that's not necessarily what they are. Okay? It's not everyone a role model or only, Muhammad Ali was. That's different. Those are 1 in a billion people. It's not always you're going to get that. But every now and again, in his own manner of communication, he will have something to say. And even the president will be able to read those little things. He's bright in his own self, obviously. He doesn't get there by being stupid. Able to read the room, read from certain comments the person makes, how the black people are seeing certain things, especially if that conversation comes up. And you're at the table anyway. And you're able to now have these negotiations, make room for your people after being in that position. You're not going to get it by screaming from where you are. You're definitely not going to get it by burning up your whole town. Your own town, I should say, which is stupid. So, don't do that. Don't do that to Bud. Don't do that. It's wrong. Remember all the points I made. Don't do that. It's very wrong. He's in a historical position. For himself, for his family. First, himself. Second, for his family. Third, for the people. You want him to sacrifice, to make a sacrifice his own self. That's what you want. You want him to sacrifice himself. While you're crucifying him already, it's double sacrifice. So you crucified him, yet you also want him to sacrifice for you. And now you're even proving to him that he was right. Because look how you're treating him now, publicly, with no thought about how he might feel or what the effect might be on him mentally, but also even commercially. Oh, I'm sure you'd love it to just bring him down, many of you. But it doesn't work like that. Commercially, he's going to be even higher because the people who are holding that card, they're not black institutions. Let's just be straight. Okay? They're looking at you, accusing him of being with them. They're going to give him even more now. So it's a blessing in disguise that you try to crucify him in this context. You have to understand wisdom. King Solomon said, in all you're getting, get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing. So get wisdom. All this foolishness that you're doing, trying to bring your own down, bring your own people down. And while you're thinking you're doing something clever, it's not. It's just emotional. You just jump in to conclusions and then you're publicizing it really quickly. You're hasty to speak. The proverb also says, don't be hasty to speak. A wise man reserves his thoughts first. And prudence will bring it out in the right moment. This is Xtreme Martial Artist Combat Master Olisa Eric Ossai on Imperial Kingdom. Have a good day.